Hi, I'm Clare Jones. I'm a qualified occupational therapist and one of the directors at MediRecruit. Danielle Whedon is the other director and she's a physio by background. MediRecruit is a specialist allied health recruitment company that offers expert career advice for allied health professionals and recruits to roles throughout Australia, New Zealand and the UK. I'm going to spend the next few minutes sharing some advice and my top tips for interviewing. Currently, we're seeing a variety of interview styles being used, from a very formal, unstructured and conversational style to a very formal and highly structured interview style. As a generalisation, hospitals are commonly conducting formal interviews where therapists are required to address key selection criteria and respond to case studies, whereas informal and unstructured interviews are preferred by many private practices and private organisations. Regardless of the style of interview you're undertaking, when answering questions, you should focus on demonstrating your clinical reasoning ability, your process knowledge, your experience that relates to the question, and the transferable skills you can bring to the role. When it comes to interviewing, my key piece of advice is to be prepared and do your research. So what should you do to prepare for an interview? First thing, find out who will be conducting the interview. You need to know the names of the interviewers and their position. Research the people conducting the interview. Now, LinkedIn is a great resource for this. Research the organisation at length. What services and products do they offer? Which locations do they cover? Who are their consumers? And prepare questions to ask in the interview. Will I be provided with supervision? Who will supervise me? How much supervision will I receive? Does the organisation have a graduate program? Would I be required to use my own car? Those sorts of questions. Find out how the interview will be conducted. Will it be face-to-face, via phone or via video link? What style of interview will be used? Will it be unstructured, behavioural based or situational based? Will you be asked to address key selection criteria or respond to a case study? For both behavioural and informal interviews, I advise therapists to use the STAR method to answer questions. The aim of using the STAR method is to provide answers in a succinct and organised way. It helps you not to leave out any important information and can prevent you from rambling on and getting sidetracked. So how do you answer questions using the STAR method? So you start with S. Situation. Describe a situation that relates to the question. T is for task. Describe the task you were responsible for in the situation. A is for action. Describe the actions taken, exactly what you did. And R is for result. What was the outcome? What was accomplished? And most importantly, what did you learn? In my opinion, using this structure not only sets you up to best answer questions in terms of content, it's also really useful to calm your nerves and to help you feel confident when answering questions. So here are my top tips for interviewing. Be prepared and do your research. Know everything you possibly can about the interview, the organisation and its people prior to interviewing. If it's a face-to-face interview, give yourself plenty of time to get to the interview and plan your trip. The person you're liaising with regarding the interview, put their name and contact details into your phone so that you can be prepared when they call. Ensure you have a professional message on your mobile phone and a professional email address, and ensure your social media presence is completely private. This is really important. Now, be professional in every way, dress professionally, and if you're interviewing via video link, set yourself up in a really appropriate space and don't interview lying on your bed. Turn off your phone for the interview and don't talk on your phone in the waiting room. It's amazing what reception staff have been able to pass on to hiring managers. And after the interview, wait until you're completely removed from the building or surrounding coffee shops before you discuss the interview with anyone, either in person or on the phone. Prepare for questions around both your clinical knowledge and experience and around any non-professional employment or voluntary experience you have obtained. Prepare for questions that relate to your generic transferable skills such as time management, organisational skills, communication skills, punctuality, ability to work under pressure, and think of examples that demonstrate your skill set in these areas. Most importantly, during the interview, be yourself, be authentic. Don't be afraid to show some personality. Most of all, interviews are looking to get a sense of who you actually are. I hope you found this information helpful. Please don't hesitate to get in touch if you'd like any further advice or if you'd like to receive MediRecruit's free guide to interviewing.